Hi there, I'm here at Quarry parking lot out here outside the Quarry Trail, which is roughly a mile and a half limestone bedded road that used to be part of Old Mountain Quarries Railroad, which was used to transport limestone to local processing plants. From here you can get to several locations. PG&E Trail will take you literally up just above 49 here, a couple of miles up the road. And then there's a really nice trail that you can actually connect over to American River Canyon down below Gate 3 of Cool and go to the points beyond over there, which includes Wendell T. Roby all the way over to Drew Barner. Across the river to the northeast is the Forest Hill Bridge. My favorite strenuous trail, albeit short, is the Fire Break, stretching from Lake Clementine Trail up towards the Forest Hill Bridge overlook. Although one can hike all the way to the top and end at Forest Hill Road, the section past the overlook isn't as well maintained. Going from Lake Clementine Trail to the overlook will take you approximately 900 feet up in a little less than a mile. The views of the confluence are grand. Today I'm meeting Laird Thompson, a noted geologist who is passionate about the American River Canyons and Auburn State Recreation Area especially. On a previous hike along this trail, Laird had explained how the dredging operation all up and down the river had dispersed rocks along the shore and left natural and unnatural bars with rocks that otherwise would have been buried dozens of feet beneath the riverbed.
Different size buckets, different types of mechanical drives depending upon where it was located. But this one supposedly was assembled piece by piece from the canyon. They actually brought it down with cables, pieces from the canyon walls, and assembled it down in the river, like a sluice box in a sense, and process some of it. Then we go through another.
So that's part of the sluice box down here.
Right, the tumbler. It's like a tumbler.
A tumbler?
With the buckets, then we bring it back up, and they'd adjust it as they needed to. These big towers and winches and cables.
You can keep saying something funny if you want.
That's all right.
So as you walk along the edge of the middle fork of the American River on the Quarry Trail coming out here, you can see the country rock in the area, which is Jurassic in age, about 120 to 150 million years old. And as we look across the river at the rock over there, you'll see that the river rock close to the river is a greenish color. This is a green mudstone, or greenstone as it's called. One of the interesting things is as you look at the rock there and you get up off the river, it looks much more dark brown. It's the same rock, it's just a chemical weathering alteration as you get away from the rock that's been cleaned off by the river. As we pan around and look upstream, as we get out towards the quarry, you're going to see that the rock over there is much more of a blue-gray color and more rounded. And that's the limestone, very, very different from the green mudstone country rock that we have here. Standing here at the entrance to Hoffer Cave, where they went in mining the limestone starting in the early 1900s. The limestone itself, you can see in my hand here, is kind of this blue-gray color. Gets a little bit chewed up with bits and pieces of white on it. As compared to the colors that you have in the country rock here, which is the greenstone. This country rock, being old mudstone, was deposited during the Jurassic period about 120 to 150 million years ago. This limestone in here, on the other hand, is over 100 million years older than that. This is Permian. We're talking on the order of 250 million years old. One of the things they had to do when they were mining it is to go through the country rock back in here to get into their ore. And this limestone is 98% pure, so it was very highly sought after as a mining material. One of the things we can see out here in the greenstone is that you can see how busted up the rock is along this line up in here and over in here. These are a couple of very small faults that you see in the country rock out here.
Our next stop takes us to the Olmstead or Knickerbocker area of the park. Access is via the staging area behind the Cool Fire Station just off Highway 49. It's apparent as soon as you park that this area is horse country. The staging area bristles with horses and their proud and happy owners on all but the hottest mornings and afternoons. The area is also blessed with running potable water, a rarity in Auburn SRA.
Oh, it just feels like it's crooked, you mean?
Yeah. Isn't that your favorite?
Oh, it's
Oh, probably is. A Pioneer Express,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. Yeah.
A mode of transportation today is without saddle or reins, just a GPS, a sturdy pair of legs, and a sense of adventure as we geocache our way to some spectacular areas thriving with birds, small mammals, and the occasional predator.
I was going to talk a little bit about Olmstead Loop. I have lived in Auburn about 30 years. For the first 25 years, I came out here maybe 3 times. I found it kind of boring. There's one big official trail and that's it. And once you've seen it, you've seen it. But then I discovered geocaching and we started living over here in Olmstead Loop area every weekend because we could find all sorts of interesting things, new trails that we never knew existed. And here, right here, we will see some grinding rocks. There's some other grinding rocks in Olmstead Loop area. There's also an alcove of limestone with some stalactites. There's some manzanita, the size of trees. There's places to get where you can look over the canyon and look into the American River. So there's a lot to be discovered out here, and it's a little hard to find them since there's no official trails to all these really interesting sites.
You know, he's trying not to be seen. That's why he's sitting there. He's standing there. Now he's like, I'm bored.
Okay. Wow, this is
Where
cool.
could it be?
Where could it be?
A hint would be that that's the wrong way to go. It's easy to come up the trail.
Oh, it's going down.
A good rule of thumb is geocachers are really fat, lazy geeks, and they only walk as straight
no!
as...
Do I look like fat and lazy to you?
Well,
He was right on a third of it.
Here's the cache.
was she found?
I don't know, I kind of like this one.
This last person here was
I
also
think I'll
marked.
leave something and take this one.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, doing the Olmstead Loop. I'm actually kind of prepping myself. There's a race on the 16th of October. It's called the Knickerbocker race.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And so I'm just kind of conditioning. It'll be an 8-hour, how many laps you can do in 8 hours, or you can do a flat 50-miler, and how fast you can go 50 miles.
Get clipped back in. So.
Thanks for
Okay.
letting me use your great discussion on Knickerbocker.
Well, you bet. Have a good time.
It looks so much the same to me. I thought I'd tell you a little bit more about why we do geocaching. Most of the time, it's just the fun of being able to take our GPS and find some random spots in the world where people have hidden stuff for us to look for. Yes, so a lot of the little geocaches have a few little trinkets for children and things, but the main reason is to get out here and see different things and see if we can use our technology and learn where things are, select the right route, and so that's more the challenge.
Down here, it looks like there might be a trail.
Ow, ow, ow! Okay, I don't like the sound of that. Yes, Jim. So one last place that I have brought us to is this special place where you can see the entire Auburn Dam site and you can see Folsom Lake. We are only a couple hundred feet away from the Olmstead Loop, and nobody knows that this big viewpoint is here. And I never would have known except for coming out with geocaching. For those who want to learn more about geocaching, you can look at their website at www.geocaching.com. I just wanted everybody to come out and share in this hobby so that you can get outside and learn about new places.